Come on, everyone, hands high in the air. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare.
Krishna himself, Namachintamya is Krishna's Chaitanya, Rasa Vigraha is non-different, Binatva Namanamana, the name is non-different from the Supreme, same as the named. So this is, we have to, if we can remember that, it may help, that the name is Krishna. And we are here to make reawaken our relationship with Krishna. You know, if you want a relationship with someone and they're right there in front of you and we pay no attention, it's not going to be very effective in developing a relationship with that person, or we offend them. I want to have a nice relationship with you, you nonsense rascal, you bum, whatever we call them. I don't believe you at all. I'm only associating with you to get some money out of you. I want to have a nice relationship with you, by the way, as well. And anyway, you're nobody. Everyone else is better than you, or at least equal with you. Who are you anyway? But anyway, I want to have a nice relationship with you, don't I? And then they speak some. I don't want to hear what you say. I've got other things to think about besides what you're saying. Please keep quiet. It's not going to be very effective in developing a relationship with a person. Let's be in relation with Krishna. Is pretty tolerant, isn't he? He still hangs around despite all of our, let's say, whatever offences. Obviously, we don't have complete faith in the chanting, otherwise we would be chanting constantly. And we certainly maintain material attachments, gross or subtle, and or both. Material attachments of various kinds are there, which all cloud our consciousness unless we don't taste the pure name. It's mixed with salt, or it's mixed with neem juice, mixed with something. It means we don't get the sweet nectar, that sweet nectar of the holy name. And added on, although it is also included, sometimes pramada, the word pramada, as you'll see in the next verse here, may mean madness, but here the meaning is inattention. This is one of the words in the 10 offences, although it's not usually included as one of the 10 offences. It is in the actual mantra. Madness means inattention or carelessness. It is from this offence that all other offences spring. They spring, and if we're attentive, they can't. The spring, when they spring, what? They're already there. It's like a box, you've got Jack in a box. If you don't open the box, Jack won't come out. If you open the box, out he comes. We used to sell one of the gimmick. I didn't, but the boys were doing this. From Thailand, we used to get these cobra eggs. Have you ever seen a cobra egg? No. You ever seen a cobra egg? You could get them in Thailand. He's bewildered now. He's like, what's a cobra egg? And the cobra eggs, you could buy them in Thailand. And we used to sell these cobra eggs. They were a good sell. Very good. But it wasn't really a cobra egg. It looked like it was kind of a round thing, like an egg. And you could take the top off, so everyone actually wanted to see what was inside the cobra egg. You take the top off and there's a spring in there with a cobra that comes flying out. Those real ones, boom, it comes out. It jumps out of their skin, it kind of scares them. So if you don't take the top off, then you don't have that spring coming out with a cobra on top. So they spring. In fact, you'll note elsewhere, this is in Harinam Chintamya, elsewhere he says that the inattentive chanting sows the seeds of all anartha. You all know what anartha means? Unwanted desires. So it sows the seeds. The seeds will not grow if they're not sown. But inattentive chanting actually helps sow those. Because what are you doing in the mind at the same time? You're thinking of all these weeds in the form of seeds, and then gradually cultivating them in the mind, and gradually then you want to actually see them physically, or become attached to them physically. So this inattention or this madness is what we're going to talk about, because this is the key, basically speaking. Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes how offensive chanting is primarily defined as chanting for bhukti and mukti, material reasons or liberation. This type of chanting is very hard to rise from or get from. But even that in the right association can change. By association is the key for changing our attitude towards the holy name, by association. And particularly inattention is the prime factor which transforms or helps us to go from namabhas or namaparad to shuddhanam by attentively associating, making the endeavor to be attentive while we chant. Krishna then does the rest. We try our best and Krishna does the rest. So we try to be attentive, and there are many ways we can try to be attentive. This is the key, because attentive chanting, as long as we're offensive without no taste, attentive chanting allows us to associate with the holy name, with Krishna himself. We must become purified, and with a purified heart, the taste of the name, natural, is experienced. There's that lovely song, Kavi Hati Bolo, Sedi Naman, Aparada Guchi, Shudaname Ruchi, Kripa Bale Hame, Nidare Sanchan, Kavi Hati Bolo, Sedi Naman, Kavi Hati Bolo, Sedi Naman. Maybe some questions, maybe we've not got enough. I do not know. Maybe surely there's not enough questions. You can sit in the chairs if you're feeling uncomfortable physically. Yes, when oh when will that day be mine? Taste for the name increasing, offences ceasing, when in my heart will your mercy shine. When oh when will that day be mine? Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays. Beautiful, poetic. Wish you don't see that translation, that's all a little bit formal. But that was the original translation, it was in poetry. Very nicely done. When oh when in your heart, my heart will your mercy shine. When oh when will that day be mine? Mercy, when the offences are cleared away. So there's a key, the mercy of Krishna. It's not possible on our own to expect that complete eradication of the influence of offences. Pramada may mean madness, is from this offence. There are three, the wise men recognize three types of inattention: indifference or no attention, laziness, and distraction. Those are kind of some really spaced out, we're just not focused at all. In other words, we're focused on something else, and the others are just downright apathetic or lazy. And they're kind of overlapping, and you can take them all together sometimes. Inattention, let's have a little look at inattention. Here's a very attentive Vaishnava. Counting his japa, it was 11:30 at night, and he's finishing his rounds. He got back from work at 7 o'clock, but he's been watching television, and he's realized he hasn't finished his rounds. So now he's attentively chanting his rounds whilst he's watching a late night movie. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. What was the 11th offence? He says to himself. What was that 11th offence? It's not an unusual one, and of course we have many more sophisticated gadgets than television now to help us to commit the 11th offence. Very important to commit this 11th offence, by the way. You have to become eligible. And okay, different kinds of attention, we'll just run through them briefly. Well, it's a kind of apathy or laziness. The one goes upstairs or into the lounge, kind of sits comfortably there for a few minutes, and then sort of like starts to remember you only had 5 hours and 59 minutes and 59 seconds rest last night. And Prabhupada said we should have 6 hours, so I'm very, very tired, having missed out on 1 second of rest last night. So, okay, I'm justified and, a little lazy, can't be bothered to go into the temple or go for a walk or whatever it may be. At that point in time, is not a very expert chanter. And I think that I see Rushil is laughing her head off there. Doesn't know that's a devotee from overseas. But this is a devotee from, where's he from?
Newcastle.
Newcastle in England. He's an initiated, what's his name now?
Keshavananda.
Keshavananda. Yeah. Well, because of his attentive chanting like this, he got initiated. Another light note, Prabhupada once said, our Krishna conscious movement is simply requesting people chant Hare Krishna. There was a cartoon in some newspaper that depicted an old lady and her husband sitting face to face. The lady is requesting her husband, chant, 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 and the husband is answering, can't, can't, can't. So in the same way, we are requesting everyone, please chant, 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 but they are replying, can't, can't, can't. This is their misfortune. But he's replying, can't. I think he's some kind of philosopher, because he's a philosopher himself. Can't, not chant, can't. So the same kind of thing, the Buddha is saying, chant, you can't. So sometimes our mind's like that, no, I can't. I've got other things to do. Many, many things. Very important things to do, for sure. So here's one of them. Very, very important. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Yes, I've got, definitely. And many of us are, I'm also affected by this on too many occasions. Must answer my email now. Maybe there's an important message. Maybe there's something I should know about. Yes, I better answer the mail quick, in case I forget later on. I can chant my rounds any time of the day. Right? Isn't it? You have 24 hours. You can chant your rounds anywhere, anytime, on the bus, in the bathroom, anywhere you can chant your rounds. Anyway, especially if you've got phone calls to make, it's really important. Very important. And it's good fun too, chanting it on the phone at the same time. Do 2 things at once is really good. And reading at the same time, so it's not bad. And here's another really good. This is one of the safest forms of chanting. The best. Driving a car, texting and chanting japa. Really, really recommended process of japa meditation. I think Rushil knows who that is too. I don't know if anyone else knows him. You know who that is, Rushil?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Bhakti.
Yeah, you got him. Back. That is a bit of a poser, but that does happen. Yeah. There was a crash their car with their bead bags, because if something happens, you suddenly turn your wheel, sometimes the bead bag gets caught in the steering wheel. Never do it. Please don't chant with your bead bag in your hand while you're driving a car. Very dangerous. And they're very expert. Really expert. This is called multitasking. If you don't know what it is, the right hand's moving so fast you can't recognize the bead bag in it. But she's got her hand on 2 wooden spoons, one with each hand, stirring 2 pots at once, and her mobile is jacked up on her shoulder, talking to someone at the same time, in between chanting japa. Very expert. Very expert. And you can practice that, ladies. It's expert. Finish your rounds. But it's all very well and good. In one sense it's not. But even if it is, it doesn't really achieve the purpose of our chanting very much. We're not here just to finish numbers. Chanting is not just to get it done. But however, take heart. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, this is one of my favorite quotes from Harinam Chintamani, it is impossible for the jiva to single-handedly avoid and overcome the illusion of distraction. By the mercy of the Lord, however, this is accomplished with ease. Therefore, it is essential to fervently beg for the Lord's grace with great humility. This is the jiva's only means of salvation. Only means. Very important to remember the mercy of the Lord. And not to say we don't bother doing anything, that then becomes an offence. We try to do our best, but we understand that by His mercy. So it's a matter of repentant heart, it's a matter of the sincerity within the heart, that we mean what we say, and the Lord will help. If it's just a kind of like ritualistic presentation, it won't be so effective. Still something if they're repeating notable prayers, but it's more effective when our prayer is with sincere feeling. So anyone who claims to be a Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offences in order to quickly achieve the desired success, which is heavenly elevation, liberation, freedom from sinful reactions, and becoming a guru, getting worshipped. These are the goals. Right? Attracting an audience, getting paid maybe, getting all the money. If you sing nicely enough, you can make a good living. Is that the goal? No. Krishna Prema is not something that is purchased with material assets or so-called name, fame. Simply the Lord bestows His mercy upon the one He chooses, but we have to ask and we have to beg for that mercy. And we have to be ready to receive it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Eka Krishna Namikari Sarva Papanasha, Premera Karana Bhakti Karina Prakash. Simply chanting the Hare Krishna mantra without offences vanquishes all sinful activity, not just the reactions. Sometimes we say sinful reactions, but activities themselves. It removes the very propensity, or let's say not propensity, but tendency to commit such activities. Even the propensity is always there, the tendency is removed. In other words, the beach and the kutas are cleansed, removed from the heart. We have no more tendency to commit sinful activity. If we do, at least we will have the strength not to be victimized by those tendencies. One is more advanced, doesn't you have the tendency, as who was it, Jumanacharya, and whenever the thought, the sex life comes in, ever enters my mind, my lips curl and I spit at the thought. It's not that the thought doesn't come sometimes, but one has no inclination for that objective pleasure. Pure devotional service, which is the cause of love of God, becomes manifested. When those tendencies or attractions towards sinful activities are removed. When we're no longer following the winds of our conditioned mental mind, then we can progress. Love of God in such a purified heart, the Lord manifests Himself. Next verse, also CC. Aparada vimukto hi namna japtam sadachana namna yatala devarshe paramasiddhati namnataha. The verse by Sanat Kumar, one of the 4 Kumars, is, O Devarshi Narada, the proper way to chant the holy name is to always avoid the 10 offences. There is no need for any other process of spiritual elevation other than chanting the holy name. For the holy name alone can award one the highest perfection. Everything is there in the name. All one's objectives are fulfilled by taking shelter of the name, because the root objective has to be completely happy. It's fulfilled if we totally take shelter of the holy name. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So how to overcome offences? Some little tips maybe. Here's one nice one. Katanchana smite yasmin dushkaram sukharam bhavet vismite viparitam syat Shri Chaitanya namami tam. Things that are very difficult to do become easy to execute if one somehow or another simply remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Remembering Lord Chaitanya. We'll hear about that in a minute. But if one does not remember him, even easy things become very difficult. To this Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I offer my respectful obeisance. remembrance of Lord Chaitanya. But then Prabhupada said, when he was asked, what do we do, how do we control the mind? Prabhupada said, just hear the name. In other words, it's difficult to control Prabhupada's wandering mind. Prabhupada said, what is the use of controlling the mind? You have to chant and hear, that's all. What is the question of mind? Sounds easy, doesn't it? Prabhupada said, just chant and hear, there's no question, don't worry about the mind. The mind worries about us, and is definitely tempting us all the time. Sometimes we get captivated by the mind's temptations, and when we're chanting, quite powerful. But if we can just hear the holy name, of course we don't have, then that problem is solved. But the mind is constantly trying to draw our attention. It goes back and forth like that. Nama parari yuktanam namanyeva haranchikam Avishanti Prabhutani Tanye Varta Paranisha. The chanting of Hare Krishna is recommended for persons who commit offenses. Sometimes people say, oh Prabhu, I'm offensive, I'm not going to chant. Or maybe I'll just chant one round, attentively, or without offense, rather than keep chanting. That's not what it says here in the Bhagavad Purana. The chanting of Hare Krishna is recommended for persons who commit offenses. Because if they continue chanting, they will gradually chant offenselessly. Even in the beginning, one chants the Hare Krishna mantra with offenses, one will become free from such offenses by chanting again and again. And sometimes it's very good, we do chant japa. We may chant 16 rounds and then stop. But this means, we carry on chanting. It may not be on the beads, but chant as much as we can. That's the indication here. Keep chanting. Of course, if we keep chanting 16 rounds a day or whatever we're chanting is great also. But the more the merrier, the more the effectivity is likely to take place. Here's a nice prayer, another beautiful prayer which we can meditate on. It's accredited to Haridas Thakur. The book is actually compiled by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So at least it's coming from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. O Mahaprabhu, please be merciful to me, so that the 10 offences never touch my heart. I can always remain absorbed in the rasa of the holy name. Again, sincerity of purpose in the heart, more effectivity, the more we're... And it may come if we keep repeating this prayer. We may start to develop a little sincerity. The Srila Prabhupada, who is obviously absorbing the holy name by hearing from him. Sometimes devotees like to listen to his tape when they're chanting japa. Pray to Prabhupada and so on. Just remember Srila Prabhupada as if he was sitting next to us when we're chanting. This is one type of meditation to help us. Oh, imagine what it would be if Prabhupada was just sitting right next to me now. What would I do? How would I chant? We might be a little bit more attentive, a little careful. One should be very humble and meek to offer one's desires and chant prayers composed in glorification of the holy name, such as Ai Mukta Kalaya Pasya, Pasyamana, and Nivritarshi Bhagiyamanad. One should chant such prayers to overcome, to become free from offences at the lotus feet of the holy name. So Prabhupada saying offering prayers helps also. Very important to praise, just like we read. Where do we read? I can't remember what we were reading just now. Some prayer, glorification. Oh, it was in the beginning here. Glorification of the holy name. Some prayer you find the Bhagavatam before anyone starts a discussion or subject matter. They usually offer their prayers to their spiritual preceptors or to the object, the ultimate goal, etc., etc. They invoke good fortune and song. They set the scene, just like we do with Om Jnana Timurandasya. So before we start class, so simply before starting chanting the holy name, some suitable prayers, notable prayers, like what Prabhupada just mentioned here. I've quoted this probably 6 times in the last day and a half. Nivritar Shiru Pagiyamanan Pavoshadashtotamano Viraman Uttamashokunala Bada Umam Virajeta Vida Ushuna glorification of the personality of Godhead, is performed in the Parampara system. That is, it is conveyed from spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false, temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher, or one who is killing his own self, a Pushugnat? And another nice verse, I think I've got time. Nikila Shuti Moli Ratnamala Yurti Nirajita Par Pankajanta Ai Mukta Kalai Upasyamanam Harita Svam Harinam Samshayami. This is Rupa Goswami, lovely verses, you can read them. Namashtikam, 8 verses glorifying the holy name. The first one. O Harinam, the tips of the toes of your lotus feet are constantly being worshipped by the glowing radiance emanating from the string of gems, known as the Upanishads, the crown jewels of all the Vedas. You are eternally adored by liberated souls such as Narada and Shukadev. O Harinam, I take complete shelter of you. Beautiful prayers, like even though we may not feel we're on that level, by repeating, there's notable 2 types of prayers, notable prayers and heartfelt prayers. There's a notable prayer even if it's not heartfelt. And by chanting the which are compiled by pure devotees of the Lord, then we become purified. And hopefully in the association of these pure devotees' words, we can also cultivate or develop a mood which they're worshipping the Lord in. Prabhupada talks about the process and initiation both in regards to offenseless chanting, going to the platform of pure chanting. Prabhupada, no, they may chant, but they must understand that the chanting process, that will be more effective. That they must know, chanting is open, anyone can chant, but they must know that if I chant the proper process, it will be effective. Back to our original point, anyone can chant. But if we want to attain perfection, then there's a process. Sampradaya vihinaye mantraste nishpalamataha. And this is the beginning of that process. When it's not actually connected with a bona fide disciplined succession, whatever mantras he chants will not bring the desired result. They may bring some other result, or give us a chance towards it, but until one connects with a disciplined succession, it will not bear the fruit. Unless it's very strong, he said, the mantra is useless. It's useless in the absolute sense, but it may also have, let's say, the effect of preparing one, or giving one the chance to connect. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada receiving initiation. What year did Prabhupada take initiation? 33. One place Prabhupada says 32, but generally says 33. And where did he take initiation? Where did he take it? It wasn't Melbourne, I can do that. Let's cut one possibility out.
Was it Prayag?
Yeah, Prayag. Allahabad. Prayag, same thing. So there he's taken from his spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta. He waited 11 years from the first time they met. And the key was, Bhaktisiddhanta man said, this young man, he hears very nicely. That was his note. He noted that he liked to hear. So the endeavor to hear is very favorable and important. To hear philosophy as well as just the holy name, but to hear nicely, to listen carefully. Prabhupada, offenseless, he must be properly initiated. It does not mean that he should not be initiated in chant, because anyone can, but if we want to come to offenseless chanting, we must be initiated. That is not the idea. You can, but you must be initiated. Either you're a grihastha, a sannyasi, or a brahmachari. Not without being initiated, you'll whimsically chant and the effect will be the same. No, you must be initiated. Ado, Guruvashrayam. You must accept the Guru. That's another subject. And itself, some people will interpret it differently, but the principle was very simply understood at the time. One had to take initiation from somebody in the disciplic succession. That was the general understanding. Is Prabhupada giving, in LA, I guess, giving initiation to someone. Anybody here a disciple of Jayapataka Maharaj? Here we go, a couple of you, two or three of you. Disciples of Jayapataka Maharaj. You know, he's, of course, you know, he says he has received an order from Srila Prabhupada to initiate 100,000 disciples. Well, he's almost 2/3 the way there. Over 60,000 now. Amazing, huh? Without initiating, Prabhupada said, more disciples, and there's no spreading of Krishna consciousness. It's not the end, it's the beginning, but I mean, it's got to be there. We're going to cultivate or grow towards Shuddhanam. It is essential, however, that everyone fulfill a specific vow to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. So it's related, adding on to that. Therefore, we have prescribed in our society that all our students must chant at least 16 rounds daily. Such chanting must be offenceless in order to be of high quality. Mechanical chanting is not as powerful as chanting of the holy names without offence. Now, in regards to that, previous topic, the holy name is not just a mechanical device which automatically bestows a particular result. It's very personal, very, very personal. And in regards to receiving, the time is running short, but in regards to receiving both the mantra and the effectivity of chanting, the important thing is that the holy name reciprocates accordingly, it reciprocates always accordingly. If we receive from the right source, and if we follow the instructions of that source, then the holy name is very pleased and feels obligated or inclined to reciprocate more. This is not just any old way of doing this, doing that. That's also something is there. It's not totally nothing. It is something. But if we really want the real effect or the real relationship with the holy name to awaken, then we have to receive from the right sampradaya, from the right source. So Prabhupada, and that means also the process, receive the process. So here Prabhupada said at least 16 rounds daily. And it should be offenceless, mechanical, and then Prabhupada equates offensive chanting to mechanical chanting. Mechanical chanting is not as powerful as chanting of the holy name without offences. So it's one of the evidences by inference that obviously mechanical chanting refers to offensive chanting, because it's not as powerful as chanting without offences. So the mechanical chanting means one of those inattentive types of chanting also is called mechanical. So it's an offensive. Inattentive chanting is also an offence. And that's the key which helps to transform our chanting from Nam-Basva, Nam-Aparad to Shuddhanam. Is our upper our side attentive chanting and trying to depend upon the Lord for His mercy. It is, so here we have, see, very, very attentive, maybe a little bit mechanical, we're sometimes like the bird in the cage, the parrot or whatever it is, in the cage. Chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then when there's a real emergency, caw, 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 caw. No more Krishna, Krishna. Oh, oh, damn it. You know, we bash our hand. Damn it. Why has this happened to me? We forget. It's just a little cartoon. Oh, 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 oh. It might be when we're tempted by some material attraction, we forget Krishna and go there. It's another form of blazing fire. While chanting the Hare Krishna mantra in the beginning, one may commit many offences which are called namavas and namaparad. In this stage, there is no possibility of achieving perfect love of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Therefore, one must chant the Hare Krishna mantra according to the principles of the above verse. One should note in this connection that chanting involves, to the process, involves the activities of the upper and lower lips as well as the tongue. All three must be engaged in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. The words Hare Krishna should be very distinctly pronounced and heard. Sometimes one mechanically produces a hissing sound. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, something like that. Or a clicking sound, like click, 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 especially if you're using a clicker. Hare click, 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 Hare click, 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 Hare click, 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 or what's some other Hare, very giddy sound. Hare giddy giddy giddy, giddy 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 giddy, Hare giddy giddy giddy, Hare giddy giddy giddy, giddy loker, here we come. We should pronounce, brothers, it's his purpose. With the proper pronunciation, with the help of the lips and the tongue. Chanting is very simple, one must practice it seriously. Therefore, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita advises everyone to keep this verse always strung about his neck. Appreciation. And there's the holy clicker. Someone's chanting there, 8,889 clicks. You've got to do 27,000, I think, isn't it? But it's 16 rounds. No, that's names. No, he's done a lot there. He chanted a lot of rounds. He's chanted 64 rounds, I think. Well, he's doing pretty good. Huh? That's over a year, isn't it? 1 year. Accumulate. Anyway, he's doing pretty good. 27,000 names and about 1,700 mantras or something like that to do 16 rounds. And there's a nice one. I like chanting because it gives me a legitimate excuse to sit down and not run around doing service. Right. You don't think chanting is service? Yes and no. It depends on our attitude. But sometimes the voice is, Prabhu, 10 o'clock at night. Prabhu, oh no, I've still got my rounds left. The temple everything asks what he wants here. I haven't finished my rounds. The temple commander comes around. Excuse me, Prabhu, no, I'm still chanting my rounds. You tell him no before you even ask what he wants to say. At least you're thinking, oh my God, the temple commander's coming now. I've still got some rounds left, thank God for that. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. And you had all day to chant, and it's like, oh. Probably sleeping during japa. Therefore, one must strictly chant the Hare Krishna mantra 24 hours daily. Wow, what Prabhupada says. Let me get going. One may have other duties to perform under the direction of the spiritual master, but he must first abide by the spiritual master's order to chant a certain number of rounds. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we have recommended that the neophyte chant at least 16 rounds. The neophyte. As I was saying this morning, I'm still a neophyte after 47 years now. Chanting. Still basically just chanting 16 rounds is amazing. This chanting of 16 rounds is absolutely necessary if one wants to remember Krishna and never forget him. 2 reasons. One, we're remembering his instructions. And 2, we're following the process given by the spiritual master, so Krishna will give that remembrance when the time is needed. Of all the regulated principles, the spiritual master's order to chant at least 16 rounds is most essential. Famous quote. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're chanting 16 rounds, trying to be attentive, using the mouth, tongue and lip and everything like that, prayer and so on, initiation, some other process. Sadhu Sangha is another important one, associating with devotees. His prophet in Vrindavan in 1972 at the Damodar temple. Very intimate association with devotees. By good fortune, after getting faith, this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a jiva will take up the name. By chanting regularly, counting on the Tulsi Mala carefully, he will develop attraction for the name. However, until that attraction has actually developed, one must be very careful about how one chants. Attractions are developed when one automatically chants with devotion, with love. Naturally, the common man, having attachment to material things, will be attracted to these things even while chanting. Though chanting japa daily, if his taste is elsewhere, he will show indifference to the name. His heart will not be absorbed in chanting the name, but in some material object. How can that benefit him? He may chant 64 rounds, counting strictly on his japa beads, but in his heart he has not received one drop of the taste of the name. This indifference or apathy towards the name is one type of inattention in the heart of a materialist. It is unavoidable. If indifference or lack of attraction for the name is present, one should take association of Vaishnavas who are properly chanting in some place sheltered from the material influence. That's supposed to be what our temples are for. I think Melbourne's pretty good. In some temples you have to leave the temple room to give yourself a chance to be attentive while chanting. You know, there's no kind of like emphasis on the holy name as being our worship at this point in time. Mobiles are coming out, text messages are going on, conversations are going on, other things are taking place. There's no one left in the temple. Everyone gets up and goes. So there's all sorts of different scenarios. I was in one temple one time after Mangalati, everybody left except for one devotee. I thought, oh my goodness, but at least one devotee is still in the temple to chant with. So after about 5 minutes, all went silent from behind. They were behind me. Everything went silent. I thought, oh, maybe they fell asleep. I looked around. They were reading the newspaper in the temple room. It just comes through the door. It's one of those temples from newspapers in those days, a long time ago, delivered. So yeah, we get easily distracted. By chanting in that situation, his absorption of material things will be reduced in the association of those who are trying to be serious about chanting. Being inspired by the contact of the Vaishnavas, he will give up that fault. Gradually his heart will get attraction for the name and will be anxious for the nectar of the name. The advanced devotees have recommended that one live in a place where Krishna had his pastimes, near Tulsi, in the company of Vaishnavas, and gradually increase the period of chanting. Quickly the taste for material objects will go, quickly depending on how much we apply ourselves. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, chanting in front of Tulsi Devi. And Haridas, of course, all the great acharyas, teachers, Lord Chaitanya used to have a Tulsi plant, someone would carry it on their head sometimes as he would walk. He would meditate on Tulsi while chanting. It's Tulsi very beneficial. The remedy for this, is to take association of Vaishnavas who do not waste time in material activity, but constantly chant and remember the holy name, being absorbed only in the name. One should follow in their footsteps. When one sees how the true Vaishnava or sadhu does not waste time in useless pursuits, he will develop the taste to do likewise. In his mind he will think very good. By this enthusiasm will come to the lazy mind, and he will overcome the offense of laziness or inertia. One will become determined to increase his chanting every day. By this eagerness in his rounds and by the mercy of the devotees, the offense of inertia will quickly go away. Summarized, mercy of the devotees and chanting with determination, more and more. And taking shelter of the 6 Goswamis and our Siksha Gurus, they can protect us on our path. Echai Musari Kori Charanam. Well, for my obeisances to the feet of these 6 Goswamis, bowing to them destroys all obstacles to devotional service and fulfills all spiritual desires. All the Vaishnavas. We take shelter of the Vaishnavas. Many prayers to the holy name we're not going to go through. We've already done a few. There's one prayer, there's another prayer. There's another prayer. Beautiful prayer. That's the acharyas. There's another prayer which we mentioned earlier. Different prayers which are recommended to glorify the name and help us to develop the right attitude in our relationship with the holy name. Another beautiful prayer. Prabhupada said, chant more. The more one chants the name of Krishna, the more he becomes attached to chanting. Once one has attained the spiritual platform, it is material service that actually becomes disgusting. For example, if one chants Hare Krishna throughout his life, he will not grow tired of the name, but if one chants a material name over and over, he will soon become disgusted. The more one chants the names of Krishna, the more he becomes attached. Well, that, I think, is proof of the pudding is in the eating, and many of you have been chanting for many, many years. I don't know if you become, bored or disgusted or whatever, grown tired of chanting. But certainly if you try to chant an ordinary name, mundane name, whatever it may be, then you definitely you'll get disgusted, fed up with it after some time. No useless waste of time. But chanting more and more and more, one develops an attraction for chanting policy, becomes attached. As soon as a person, Yati namara parade tu pramade vaikajanchana, tada sankirtayen nama tadek sharvamo. Nama parada yuktani namanyeva parantigaka vishanti prasantani tanyevartkarani. As soon as a person humbly surrenders himself to the holy name, all the offences he has committed are immediately nullified. Yet, if due to some negligence he once again commits namaparad, it would jeopardize his progress in bhakti. The only antidote to such an incident is to intensify chanting. By continuous chanting, one should solidly reaffirm his faith and mood of surrender to the holy name. And on the strength of such sincere chanting, namaparad will once again be extirpated. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj emphasizes strongly the importance of service to the Gurus and the Vaishnavas. Prabhu kahe Vaishnav seva nama sankirtan, Dui karashi krupame Sri Krishna. The Lord replied, you should engage yourself in the service of the servants of Krishna and always chant the holy name. If you do these two things, you will very soon attain shelter at Krishna's lotus feet. Simply serving the last devotees with love and devotion, our taste for chanting the holy names will increase, and we will be qualified to chant the holy names. In other words, true humility means to develop a taste for chanting and to become a true servant of the holy name. Kind of reverse vocabulary in a sense, because that's what it means. I mean, humility is to actually take shelter of the holy name, realizing we have no other chance, no other way that we can attain our objective goal. We take shelter of the holy name. That's humility, and that way we develop a taste for chanting and become a true servant of the holy name, not trying to be a master of the holy name. Service to Guru and the Vaishnavas is the gateway through which we develop such taste. And we develop a taste. Service to the Guru and the Vaishnavas is also explained by Narada Muni, is also explained by Srila Goswami in the first canto of Bhagavatam. Give up duplicity. I am a servant of Krishna and Guru, showing compassion to others. We should also remember that we cannot possibly learn to chant if we do not offer sincere and loving service to our spiritual master, who is an acharya of the holy name. When by serving Guru and Krishna the heart becomes purified, the Lord's pure name will appear in the heart. Otherwise, we will continue to commit offences against the name. The pure name. The name is there and it's pure, but it's because it's obfuscated by the coverings in our heart, and all we're receiving is like, dim reflection or shadow or reflection like that of the pure name because of the impurities within our consciousness. So by serving the Guru, our heart becomes purified. Shushushoshdasya Vasudeva Katarishi. But by serving the devotees, all the dirty things in the heart are cleansed away, and one develops an attraction for hearing the messages of Godhead. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj Ki Jai. If the living entity sincerely chants the name of Gaur Nityananda, considering these personalities supreme, all his anarthas will be destroyed, even if he's full of anarthas. So, not forgetting Gaur Nitai, not forgetting Panchatattva, by their grace, all the anarthas in our heart can be destroyed if we take shelter of them. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. Shri Shri Panchatattva Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. There are offences to be considered in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but there are no such considerations in chanting the names of Gaur Nityananda. Therefore, if one chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but his life is still full of sinful activity, it will be very difficult for him to achieve the platform of loving service to the Lord. But if in spite of being an offender when chants the holy names of Gaur Nityananda, he is very quickly free from the reaction to his offences. It's important why Prabhupada emphasized we should chant the Panchatattva mantra before chanting Hare Krishna. But if one only chants with some slight faith the holy names of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, very quickly he is cleansed of all offences. Thus, as soon as he chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, he feels the ecstasy and love of God. Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai, studying Shastras, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said, if we wish to develop a taste for chanting, then we should hear and study scripture and cultivate Krishna consciousness. So another tip there, serving the devotees, but also reading scriptures. It helps us to develop a taste for chanting the holy names, because that's what the scriptures are guiding us how we can do them. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, one must diligently complete the prescribed number of holy names according to his vow, and he must always check that he chants his round sincerely. Those who chant distractedly are always eager to somehow complete the fixed number of holy names and be done with it. Finished. Thank God. Thank God I finished my rounds. It is important to concentrate on the quality of the chanting and not simply on trying to artificially increase the number of holy names. The name of the Lord should be pronounced distinctly. Only by the grace of the Lord can this be achieved. Thus one should pray to the Lord that he never falls victim to the wiles of illusion or distraction, and that he can continue to taste the full nectar of the holy name. One should thus never be inattentive to complete one's prescribed number of daily rounds. This should be noted day by day. When chanting these prescribed rounds, one should avoid the different types of inattentiveness, giving up the desire to increase the number of rounds for show. One should attempt to first concentrate nicely on what one can manage. Therefore, the devotee starts by chanting with full concentration in a peaceful place for a short time. He will always be praying to the Lord that he will chant clear, attentive rounds with his mind fixed on Krishna. For on one's own, one cannot accomplish anything. Krishna's grace is necessary to cross the ocean of material existence. Being anxious in heart, one should beg for mercy. And because Krishna is merciful, he will help. Whoever does not try for that mercy is very unfortunate. Again, the emphasis on mercy. Concentrate. Sometimes it is good to get a kick start in a quiet place. It depends. Sometimes not. But some people wander completely away or fall asleep. But it's one circumstance, one approach. Sometimes we have to walk up and down, whatever it is, chant louder, Prabhupada said. Help regulate the uncontrolled mind. Associating with Namacharya Haridas is very important. Man Bhakta Haridas Thakur Jaya Jaya Haridas Asami Sarvapakshaya. All glorious to the great devotee Haridas Thakur. By remembering Haridas, all one's sinful reactions are vanquished. By remembering Haridas, a good meditation. This Haridas in Siddhabakal, where they worship the deity of Jagannath-puri, Haridas Thakur, before the renovations. And of course Haridas is famous for delivering the Lakbai, the prostitute, called a prostitute, who became a pure devotee and also chanted 3 lakhs and awoke prema. He awoke prema in her heart. So Haridas Thakur is a Namacharya holy name. When it comes to chanting, the topmost devotee is Srila Haridas Thakur. It was he who propagated the supreme truth about the holy name. He preached as well as practiced chanting the holy name. Hence he is the Acharya of the holy name, or Namacharya. Whoever chants the Lord's name following in Haridas Thakur's footsteps will achieve the highest perfection in it, as did Hirabai, who was here chanting. This is not Haridas Thakur, this is the converted prostitute chanting in front of Tulsi Devi. Haridas is off to the left, and you see in the bigger picture, you'll see him leaving the grove and leaving her there. And this is, we mentioned already, Namacharya Haridas quote, Nirantar Namalau, chant the Hare Krishna mantra continuously and render service to the Tulsi plant by watering her and offering prayers to her. In this way you will very soon get the opportunity to be shouted at the lotus feet of Krishna. Chanting in front of Tulsi is very important. Haridas Thakur used to chant the holy names on his beads 3 lakhs daily. Throughout the entire day and night, he would chant the 16 names in the Hare Krishna mantra. One should not, however, imitate Haridas Thakur, for no one else can chant the holy name 3 lakhs daily. Such chanting is for the Mukta Purush, or liberated soul. We can follow the example, however, by chanting 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra on beads every day and offering respect to the Tulsi plant. This is not at all difficult for anyone. And the process of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with a vow before the Tulsi plant has such great spiritual potency that simply by doing this one can become spiritually strong. Therefore, we request the members of the Hare Krishna movement to follow Haridas Thakur's example rigidly. Chanting 16 rounds does not take much time, nor is offering respects to the Tulsi plant difficult. The process has immense spiritual potency. One should not miss this opportunity. Haridas Thakur, here speaking. Even if my body is cut in determination, is cut into pieces and I lose my life, I will never give up chanting the Lord's holy name. O Krishna, please be merciful upon these poor souls. Kindly excuse them for their offense and torturing me. Maintaining this type of determination and being compassionate to all living entities, while always chanting the holy name of Krishna, is the path of devotional service exhibited by the previous Mahajans. We have to follow the great personalities. Haridas Thakur was chanting very loudly. This again is the process. There are 3 types of chanting. One is Vachika Japa, one is Manasika Japa, and the other is Apangsu Japa. Manasika Japa is in the mind, totally in the mind. Apangsu Japa is silent, but it's in the mouth. No real sound coming out internally in the mouth. The sound is kept in the mouth. Apangsu. And the third is Vachika. Srila Prabhupada has recommended Vachika. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted very loudly, so what more evidence do you want? As Guru Maharaj chanted loudly, we are chanting loudly. So he was emphasizing the Vachika chanting, because if you don't, that's Haridas Thakur again. Siddha Bhakam, we read already mentioned this verse, about the humility of the people in Sanatana Goswamis. Mantras, back to that point, following the spiritual masters directed how to chant. Mantras bear fruit according to the conception and instructions coming from the Guru to his disciple. If the Guru instructs the disciple to chant loudly, then by doing that you will attain perfection in his mantra chanting. If we follow another path, then we will not attain perfection. We have to follow the path ordained by the one who has given us the holy name, the spiritual master, and the saves us into the holy name. The holy name of Krishna means divine sound. It can be compared to a capsule of medicine. The capsule is not the medicine. Externally, one capsule may look like another, but within one capsule there may be medicine, another may be poison. The capsule itself is not the medicine. It is not the sound of Krishna's name, it is Krishna exactly. Krishna is within the sound. The holy name must be surcharged with a proper spirit, not mundane scent. In other words, the medicine won't manifest, it won't bear. It's there, but it won't have the potent effect. There's a famous verse from we've already recorded that in the class a few times in the last few days, on the nectar of instruction, how we can remove to the root, destroy the dirt, the disease at the root. The sugar, the nectar and sugar tasting, holy name being mixed with material motivations is not so tasty, but by carefully and regularly chanting the holy names, then we can start to relish the sweet taste of the holy name. A beautiful verse in Chaitanya Mangala. The living entity's ears are sacrificial openings. The tongue is a sacrificial ladle. The sound of Lord Krishna's glories is charming, sacrificial ghee. When the ladle of the tongue pours that ghee into the openings of the ears, the ghee enters the heart. In the heart, the ghee adds fuel to the fire of ecstatic love. It makes that fire burn with great flames. The flames of that fire make the body tremble. They make the body's hairs stand erect. The result of allowing the holy name to enter the core of our hearts. Yet even while chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one may observe regulated principles. Thus, while sitting and chanting, one may keep his body straight. This will help one in the chanting process. Otherwise, one might feel sleepy. Prabhupada said that. Here's a nice devotee sitting with his back quite straight. Just a couple more, and we'll finish. There are no hard and fast rules for chanting such names. The mention of such rules refers to Kaladaesha Niyama, regulations of time and place. Normally there are strict regulations governing time, place and certain conditions, under which one may execute a particular Vedic ceremony or chant a particular mantra. However, one should chant the holy name of Krishna everywhere and at all times 24 hours a day, thus there is no restriction in terms of time and place. This is the meaning of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's statement. I'm glad to hear that you are always keeping engaged in Krishna service and chanting Hare Krishna. As you chant, try to hear each word very carefully and always complete your 16 rounds. Regular and attentive chanting along with following the 4 regulated principles will keep one pure. Simply by following these principles and chanting Hare Krishna, one can make his life successful and perfect. So far your 2 lost beads are concerned, you can simply add 2 more beads. And because I've already chanted on all the others, they will be sanctified also. And I think the last one. Chanting japa should be done early in the morning with full concentration, preferably during the Brahma Muhurta time. Concentrate fully on the sound vibration of the mantra. Pronouncing each word distinctly and gradually your speed in chanting will increase naturally. Do not worry so much about chanting fast. Most important is the hearing. A devotee should always be grave and silent, which means that he only discusses topics relating to Krishna consciousness. Yet, yes, spend your time chanting and reading and taking Krishna Prasad. Automatically your tongue will come under control. If you sincerely engage 24 hours daily in devotional service, according to the instructions of the spiritual master, chant daily 16 rounds, attend the Aarti ceremony of Lord Krishna, associate with the devotees, and adhere strictly to the regulated principles, Krishna will reveal himself personally to you. So, Prabhupada, early morning, going for a walk, chanting japa. We would love to walk in the morning on the chapel. Even Melbourne, lovely place to walk on the beach or on promenade, in the park. But we'll chant japa sometimes just sitting down. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, that's it. And there we go, then we can merge into the Brahmajyoti. All perfection. The goal of chanting. To annihilate everything and just exist in nothingness. Exist in the Brahman. Some people think like that. It's just simply a means to an end. It's not. The holy name is the end. It's their sadhana and our sadhana goal also. Being Krishna himself. We just have to purify our consciousness and realize that the name is Krishna. So we're at 5 to 10 minutes overtime there a little bit. Did start a few minutes late. I was rushing there. I didn't know how much time it would take.
Have to hear properly the mantra. So if we're actually chanting Rama or just Ram, are we hearing the proper mantra or not? Should we chant Rama? Or should we just chant Ram 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 like we're doing?
Ram Ram.
Or Rama?
Ram Ram. Ba ba ba. Maybe become a Ram. Dear Ram. Well, no, it's almost Ram. I mean, Krishna knows what you're doing. You know, pronunciation, Prabhupada does say here we should try to pronounce it properly. Another place he said pronunciation is not always the most important thing. Krishna understands. Many people cannot pronounce the name properly, but we should. It's like a person's name from a foreign country. You do everything you can to try to pronounce their name nicely, but it may not be perfect. Dialect, etc. So similarly with the chanting of the Sanskrit words, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You know, obviously different, even among Sanskritists, they have different pronunciations. In Bengal, it's not O, it's actually O, Brahma. It's not an O. It sounds like an O, but it's not. It's actually their way of O. More O. So, you know, it's pronunciation, but Krishna understands what you mean. He knows what you're aiming at. If you're purposely avoiding, if you're being lazy, if you're, you don't care, that's another thing. So if for some reason or other, you're happy out with Chinese tongue, which can't pronounce an R very well, it comes out with like a lot of, it's not like that in R. Krishna understands that, but don't be lazy. It's not, we're with our tongues, and the way Prabhupada pronounced it also as Rama. It's not Ramo, or Ramo, or Ram. Although you do hear people say just Ram. But it's actually, we don't pick it up, but if there actually is, as a dialect with our tongue, there is a soft A, unheard apparently to those who are not trained in hearing it. Very, very soft A at the end of the Ram. Very soft. So it's a very soft A, literally speaking. The main thing is the conception in which we're chanting. Krishna understands that. We're addressing him. Anything, probably. Anything else? Yes.
How much would you say that the content, what you've been discussing now, is expressed when we go out on Harinam, for example?
The more the merrier. Jiva Goswami says, in the performance of congregational chanting, amongst all the processes of devotional service, is the most effective because in the process of congregational chanting, offences are not considered. And therefore you can get a taste. That's why in the Harinam Sankirtan, when we're dancing and chanting and people are coming in there drunk, they may be, God knows what they are, and they get a momentary taste. There's two different, Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes two different kinds of taste in chanting. One is a momentary one, which is circumstantial, maybe because of the music or the tune or the people or something external. But for a time being, you're getting some taste, preliminary taste, which is essential to capture people. So when we're going on Harinam Sankirtan, you may not be thinking so much, you're just, absorbing what you're doing. But the more we have the proper conception of what we're doing, of course, the more effectivity, at least on our own count, will be there, the more likely it will penetrate deeper beyond just the surface into the hearts of the public. The less that understanding of that concept, the more we're kind of like ourselves, kind of just like having a good time is fine. It attracts people, it's a great start, it does great, unlimitedly beneficial for everyone who comes in contact. But the more we're purely focused or understanding the conception, the understanding of the nature of the service, etc., and the nature of the name, the more likely it's going to penetrate into the hearts. But it's not that we're going to be just out there meditating on this, that, the other. We're just trying to concentrate on singing with all our hearts, singing the holy names, dancing, and sharing it with other people. We don't have to make a separate endeavour to think on it. That would be an automatic thing if we actually imbibed the depth of the holy name or the conception of the reality of the holy name and how we should serve the name. The more we have, then the more effect it will have. That's why Prabhupada just sitting down in Tompkins Square Park, just chanting with a bongo drum. There was not even a madunga, maybe 1, 2 cartels. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hours on end with the same tune, and hundreds of people were just like, their hearts changed, because of the purity, the potency of this chanting. Everyone's carrying that, you could say, instruction, so that potency goes through to the devotees when we carry Prabhupada's instruction. But it's not, of course, doesn't go so deeply. That's the one who's actually got it in full. They've got a full taste of the holy name with no other motivation whatsoever. Make it pure, without any offence. The offenceless chanting of the holy name is very powerful. It's very penetrates people's hearts in a very effective way. Otherwise, that was fun, that was nice, that was good. Yeah, that was really good on you, mate. That was really, really good. She'll be alright, mate. Yeah. Keep it up, mate. Whatever it is, you get something, but it's not so deep. What is that? I don't know what happened there. I felt something change inside my heart. What was going on there? A little bit of difference, So senseless chanting has a very powerful effect on anybody who happens to come in contact with a devotee who's chanting as a senseless. Can change their lives. Anything else? Nityananda, who was first? Nitai or Nityananda? Who was first, Nityananda or Nitai? They're fighting me. He's on the altar.
One of the altars.
Gauridas Pandit's house, right? Lord Chaitanya came, he had the deity of Lord Chaitanya. He started, jumping off the altar, and then the real Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was leaving, and there's a whole thing going on. He didn't know which one was which eventually. They kept jumping back and forth. So who's going to go first?
It always says about chanting during the Brahma Muhurta time. So we chant after Mangalarti around 5:15, 5:30. So is that, I thought Brahma Muhurta is more 2 hours before the sunrise. So how do we?
It's really good if you live in the North Pole, then you have to chant once a year.
Once a year.
Very long Brahma Muhurta hour. You have to chant 16 rounds once a year, right? On the South Pole. I don't know what time the sun sets, sunrise. They changed the clocks, although the sun is no longer the Brahma Muhurta hour, right? Use your common sense. As much as possible, the time just before sunrise is generally used for chanting the holy names. And that's why Arti, Mangal Arti is in Gora Arti. Mangal Arti may be before the sunrise, but then I have another Arti, Arunodaya Kirtan. That's supposed to be the sunrise kirtan, sunrise kirtan, Vivavari Shesha, that's sunrise kirtans. Names of Krishna, and accompanied by Hare Krishna, and in the evening we have King Jaya or Arti. They're usually at sunrise and sunset, that's the particular junctures. Before that, then generally the boys chant their japa or sunrise. But when you're living in parts of the world where the sunrise is one time a year, like in England, the sunrise is at 4:15 in the summer, and in the winter it rises like 9:15. So you've got to use your common sense. You can't phone up the boss and say, "I won't be in till 11 o'clock this morning because Mangala, the Brahma Muhurta hour is not finished till 9:15, and then I've got to do my arti and this and that." Okay. I said, "Okay, then as long as you come into work at 5 o'clock in the summer, I don't mind." Oh, no. No, you've got to use common sense. You regulate it, approximate the normal circumstances. The sun rises at 6 and sets at 6. That's the normal circumstance. That's, on the quarter, whatever the equinox, whatever they call it is. So we generally go by that. A little bit of adjustment sometimes made. They do make an adjustment in some temples in India in the winter, summer. But generally it's like that, so try to utilize the time as much as you can, but use your common sense. Anything else?
Thank you for the nice seminar. How important it is to take shelter of spiritual master, because we see a lot of people chant enthusiastically, chant over a period of time, but they haven't taken shelter of parampara.
They have taken shelter of the parampara. They're following under the process of the parampara.
So is it you have to get initiated by
That will naturally take place at a certain point in time. It's the point being is there's another aspect to this, and you'll read it in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The holy name does not wait for initiation. What it means, it doesn't wait for official initiation. Anyone can chant. Official initiation, second initiation, by Vedic standard, by the standard of that particular verse, is referring to second initiation. However, to overcome the anarthas in spiritual life, Rupa Goswami describes it in the Nectar of Devotion, one must take initiation. In other words, one must, to develop without the humility which is required and to receive the full blessing, so to speak, and to take that shelter. You must, otherwise why not take initiation? It's either because one's not following or because one's got some objection to the concept of surrender, usually. Or maybe circumstantially one hasn't not yet convinced, fair enough. That means we're still having doubts. Or when we think there's no one qualified, well, first that means maybe we should become qualified. Oftentimes these things are a result of us not being qualified, not the other person. We always look at the other person. It's the disciple who has to become qualified. And then they really want to take initiation. It's very natural. To overcome all the anarthas right down to the root is almost imperative to accept that. But that's the stage. In the stage of Bhajana Kriya, but one's already on the path, one's already taken shelter of the Parampara. It is possible without official initiation, but this is generally the process. Nothing's impossible in Krishna to do anything like. Prabhupada did say that several times, maybe 2 or 3 times, I don't remember, at least once or twice, that those who passed away left their body before they took official initiation. In one letter he said back, I think his name was Robert, I may be wrong, said he's gone back to Godhead because he took shelter of me, even though he was not initiated. Because he died some fire or something in the temple. Something like that. So, this is a personal thing and it's not just a mechanical thing. But the principle of initiation is to surrender the Padashaya to the spiritual master. Whether the official thing is there and to be accepted also. It's not a one-way thing, it's a two-way thing. To be accepted also. If that transaction has taken place even without the official circumstance, and one's already taken shelter. But in the process of taking shelter, it's a progress. It doesn't stop and it's the beginning. But at some point of time, it's natural when that point is that one will make official connection there. The vow will take that official. Surrender is the stage of surrender. It's just one of the stages of surrender. But the stage has already started the process of surrender. Anyone who's chanting, especially if they're chanting under the guidance of the spiritual master or the disciplic succession, is connected. But the connection is like not absolutely confirmed. You haven't made that commitment. You may have done, but if you have, you have. If you haven't, you haven't. Then that connection with the spiritual master means one is willing to follow their instructions. It's not just a whimsical thing. Change tomorrow, have another one. Okay, that was enough. 2 days with him's enough. Let me see if I can find another one. Not like that. Maybe you haven't understood. Anything else? Yes, what's your name called?
Kalanidhi Das.
Pardon?
Kalanidhi Das.
Karana?
Kalanidhi Das.
Kalanaji. Interesting name. Kalanaji. Where did you get the name from? Right. Kalanaji. Kalanaji. What's that mean?
Nidhi.
Needy?
Kalanidhi.
Kalanidhi.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Kalanaji. Kalanidhi. Okay. Okay.
Maharaj,
You're very needy. Yeah.
as far as attentive chanting is concerned, sometime of the Mangalati time, it's a bit of a challenge to be attentive when so many devotees are chanting together. So, how
You're
do
from
you-
Mauritius? Are you from Mauritius?
Yes, Maharaj.
Good guess.
It's a good question.
The accent. The accent. Is the accent. Is it a challenge when so many of us are chanting together?
Yes, like to hear your own chanting.
You have to chant louder. Shout. Everyone was shouting. Lucy, yes. No, yeah, it's true. That's why sometimes, well, if everyone's chanting at a certain pitch, you can hear. But sometimes the words chant loudly, and sometimes some devotees are chanting funny, something, other mantras or something. And this is difficult sometimes, there's no doubt about that. But Prabhupada did recommend. I mean, it's not a law, but he did recommend we try to stay in the temple and chant with the devotees. So it's, even if it is a little difficult sometimes, at least with the association of devotees, sometimes when we go outside the association of the devotees to chant, it's a lot easier to get entangled in other things. You can go up to your room and there's your computers there, and prasadam's there, and the bed's there, and all sorts of other attractive obstacles are there, objects are there. Something get easy waylaid, taking a rest, or you go out for a walk and you're just looking everywhere, all the sights. You can concentrate on anything. So the point is, it should be cultivated in the association of devotees sitting and chanting together. It should be cultivated that we try to chant, to assist each other also in our chanting. If we're trying to be attentive, it will help others to be attentive. It has a certain energy, vibration. And if devotees are all wandering, it's very hard to be attentive. But you should be conscious and if others are chanting too. But Prabhupada did say we should chant in such a way that we can be heard, but not loud. But I mean, so heard means someone's sitting next to you, they might be able to hear you. Prabhupada, at some points of time, he used to sit with the devotees and they'd all chant around together, simultaneously. Takes a while, it takes about 14, 15 minutes usually to do that. Anything from 12 to 15. But Prabhupada used to do that sometimes. That's another nice way to get a kickstart, but you can't kind of legislate these things in temples. But in some temples, small ones, preaching centers, they do that. They were chanting around together. But do your best. It's good to do with devotees, but if you can, but do try to make sure you don't space out if you have to go outside.